Everyone, my name is Ron Van Sessen. Welcome to another episode of Essentials for Your Journey. I have got one of the, okay, I say this all the time, one of my absolute favorite supplements to share with you today. But this one is critical. I can't tell you how important this one is. At some point, I'll share with you some supplements that I don't necessarily think are absolutely necessary every single day. But this is not one of them. This is one you need to have every single day of every single week of every single year, period. Well, let's get to it. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the Turmeric Duel Chamber Capsules. Turmeric, I don't care how you pronounce it. What I care about is that you understand what these are for and how good these are. Now, this is a very difficult supplement for me to teach. And I say that because I understand. It's not that I don't understand it or I don't get it. I do get it. And what's difficult is doing this compliantly. I have to make sure that I do not go overboard because I know what amazing benefits this has. And so I'm going to be talking in code a little bit. You're going to have to learn to read between the lines a little bit because I want to make sure I'm being compliant. All right, so let's get started with this. I'm going to open this bottle up. This is an amazing product that doTERRA developed. It's a turmeric dual chambered capsule. It means two separate chambers in one capsule. One has the botanical in it, or the powder, the solid form. The other chamber has essential oil in it. So oftentimes when you see turmeric out in the marketplace or whatever, you see it in the powder form. It's ground up into a powder, but you can also have turmeric essential oil. This has both, and nobody has ever done this before. In fact, nobody has ever even developed a dual chamber capsule that can hold both a liquid and a solid. doTERRA was the first to develop this. And I'm going to show you right now, get this up here so you can see it. There you can see this side here holds the essential oil, and this side here has the botanical. So you can see it, dual chambered capsule. All right, now you may say to yourself, well, that's all cute and all, but is that important? Well, yes, it is. It is important, and we're going to get to that. But before we do that, let's talk about turmeric and its benefits. So I recently did a video. If you're following Fun Facts at all on our YouTube page, then you see I probably covered the oil already there, and you can go back and watch that if you like. But I'm going to recap it here. So turmeric itself has been used in Indian cuisine. Basically, I think as long as there's been Indian cuisine, it's really a staple of the Indian diet. And they started recognizing turmeric for its amazing support it gives with a healthy inflammatory response. Okay, so it's very, very effective at helping us and supporting our bodies to have a healthy inflammatory response. So that we know right now, but it goes way above and beyond that, okay? This is so loaded with polyphenols, and polyphenols are so critical for cellular function. So this is really one of the things that really just gets our bodies working the way it's supposed to. When our cells are working properly, then that leads to tissues working properly, which leads to organs working properly, and that leads to body systems working properly, on and on until we get to our soul self and we are working properly. We feel good, we are good, everything is working in our bodies the way it should. Polyphenols are very important in that process because they stop those free radicals from that are inhibiting cellular function, that are attacking our cells from within. So polyphenols are very, very important. So turmeric has a lot of great polyphenols in it, but it goes beyond that too. So let's talk about the dual chamber aspect of this now. So the active ingredient in the important ingredient, I guess you can say, in the turmeric powder, the botanical, is the curcumin. And there's a lot of curcumin supplements out there on the market today. So curcumin is very beneficial to us. Again, a great polyphenol source, all that. Um, Here's the problem, though. It's not very bioavailable. In other words, our bodies can't absorb a high percentage of what we're taking. So what some companies do is just keep milling out. You just tell you to take more and more turmeric, take more and more of it. Other companies have done things like mixed it with other ingredients. Black pepper is a good example. Black pepper will help you absorb more of the turmeric and increases its bioavailability level, but it's not really the most ideal way of doing it because black pepper also helps you to bring in other things that aren't as good. So you have to be a little bit careful with that. There's a better way of doing it. And the better way of doing it is by combining it, the powder, with the essential oil. And when doTERRA did that, they raised the bioavailability factor substantially. So what this means is when you take turmeric powder, it's estimated from what I've read and what I've studied that you get approximately 6% of that is what your body's able to metabolize. That means you're wasting about 94% of it. Think about that. You're wasting 94% of that supplement if you were taking it just in the powder form because your body just can't metabolize it. When we mix it, we combine it with the oil, with the dual chamber capsule, the way doTERRA has developed this, they have found that the bioavailability goes from anywhere from 75% to about 90% on the powder aspect of it and on the oil aspect of it. So one of them goes up to like 75% and the other one goes up to like 90%, which is really huge. And honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember which one it was, which is which, but it doesn't really matter because you're getting, at this point now, you're getting that benefit. Your body is actually metabolizing the vast majority of the turmeric you're getting into your system. So that's hugely a huge bonus, big time. That's what makes this so unique. You cannot get this anywhere. No other company in the world has developed a dual chamber capsule like this. So that is one of the things that makes this so exciting. Now I'm going to tell you some other things here that turmeric does. Now we talked about the curcumin and the powder side. Well, what does the oil side have? The oil side is where we get our turmerones. And turmerones are a kind of sesquiterpene. And I've talked about sesquiterpenes before. And by the way, turmeric is loaded with sesquiterpenes. It has over 100 different sesquiterpenes in it. Over 100 different ones. And sesquiterpenes are huge. They are so important, again, in supporting our cellular function. Now, from what I've read about sesquiterpenes support the body and they stop or they inhibit cellular growth that isn't the kind of growth we want. So when cells start replicating too quickly, when cells start multiplying and growing too fast as an illness, the sesquiterpenes help, excuse me, to stop that process. And they do it in a couple of different ways. One is they send a cellular DNA code. They kind of reboot the cellular DNA code. And the cellular DNA code is the instructions that cell is supposed to have on what it's supposed to do and how it's supposed to live, how it's supposed to communicate with other cells. Everything is in that DNA strand of that cell. And the sesquiterpenes help to reboot that message. So sometimes that message gets lost and cells start going a little haywire. So the sesquiterpenes pump the brakes on that and kind of do a reboot. So it refreshes the instructions, says, stop your nonsense. This is what you're supposed to do. Secondly, something that I've read about the sesquiterpenes is this. Sesquiterpenes, when cells start growing rapidly and when they're not supposed to do that, sesquiterpenes help our bodies by cutting off the blood supply or reducing the blood supply to those cells that are growing out of control. Think about that for a second. We've got cells that are replicating too quickly, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, the sesquiterpenes actually can go in and begin to starve them to death so that they can't grow anymore. All right, so read between the lines there. You probably understand just how important this is for our longevity, for a healthy, long life. I take 2 of these every single morning, period. I don't miss will not miss my turmeric dual chamber capsules. In addition to that, I also take in the afternoon, I take two deep blue polyphenol complex capsules as well. And guess what's in those? Turmeric. Turmeric is are in those as well. So I'm getting a lot of great turmeric benefit. And I feel there was a time where I thought, what would it be like if I stopped this? Would I feel differently? Well, I know because I've stopped early on. I did stop, backed off on polyphenols to some degree, and I wasn't taking them as often. And I felt it. There's no question. I'm now to the point, though, where physically, and I say this all the time, but it's the honest to God truth. I'm going to be 55 in a week or two, and I feel better today than I felt when I was 30 years old. And I owe that a lot to the polyphenols. I think the polyphenols, more than anything, have contributed to me getting my vitality back. So that's my personal story, my personal testament. I am not telling you that this cures any diseases. I can't do that. I'm not making any health claims outside of that. I'm just telling you my personal experience. I can tell the difference if I'm not taking these. I know how I feel when I am taking them. So that's it for now. A lot of information here on turmeric dual chamber capsules. I hope you enjoyed this. Please get these. It's $35 wholesale. $35. There's 60 of them. Again, 30-day supply. So take 2 of these, folks. You can't go wrong with this one. This one is a critical. This is a must-have. Thank you for watching. Until next time, of course, we wish you wellness.